Today we're looking at Roosevelt's Square Deal. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States, was one of America's most dynamic and energetic presidents. Roosevelt took office in 1901 after the assassination of his predecessor, William McKinley. Roosevelt completed McKinley's term in office and then won an overwhelming majority in the election of 1904. With his re-election, Roosevelt began to aggressively push for change. At the time Roosevelt became president, the United States was at the height of the Progressive Era, which spanned roughly from the late 1800s through the early 1900s. This was a time period of significant social, political, and economic change in the United States. People from various backgrounds were coming together to address the challenges of industrialization, urbanization, and political corruption in America. Roosevelt's Square Deal was the cornerstone of his domestic policy, or in other words, his plan for how to manage issues within the United States.
The principles for which we stand are the principles of fair play and a square deal for every man and every woman in the United States. A square deal politically, a square deal in matters social and industrial.
Why did Roosevelt call his plan the Square Deal? Well, picture a square. A square is a shape that has four equal sides. This imagery summarized what Roosevelt was advocating for. He wanted an equal America where everyone was treated fairly and everyone had the same equal chance to succeed. The Square Deal included the 3 C's: control the corporations or businesses, consumer protection, and conserve natural resources. In the area of addressing business, Roosevelt sought to protect workers' rights and ensure that corporations did not become too powerful. During this time period, many workers faced dangerous working conditions, long hours, and low pay. Roosevelt wanted to change that. He supported workers' rights to organize into unions so they could demand better pay and safer working conditions. He also worked to pass many laws that protected workers from being treated unfairly by their bosses. He also believed in regulating big businesses. During his time, some companies became so powerful that they controlled every aspect of production, from the raw materials needed to produce an item, to the manufacturing of the product, the transportation of the goods, and the sale of the products. This is known as a monopoly. This meant that big businesses or corporations could control prices, crushing smaller businesses, and could treat their workers poorly. Roosevelt thought this was unfair. He wanted to make sure that businesses played by the rules and didn't take advantage of people. He pushed to pass laws that prevented monopolies and unfair business practices. One example of the Square Deal in action was the coal strike of 1902. Coal miners were working in dangerous conditions for low pay, so they went on strike. This caused a fuel shortage, which threatened to leave many Americans without heat in the winter. Roosevelt threatened to take over the mines if the miners and mine owners did not agree to arbitration or a formal process to settle the dispute. He made sure that the miners got fair wages and safer working conditions while also ensuring that the coal companies could still operate. It was a win-win situation that showed how the Square Deal could benefit everyone. Muckrakers such as Upton Sinclair in his book The Jungle exposed the disgusting and unsanitary conditions within the meatpacking industry. Many Americans called for change and wanted the government to take a more active role in ensuring safe foods. Roosevelt launched a government investigation into food safety and began to urge Congress to pass food inspection laws. In 1906, the Pure Food and Drug Act was passed by Congress, which prohibited the manufacturing, sale, and transportation of contaminated or mislabeled food and drugs. Roosevelt went further in attempting to keep prices under control. Roosevelt would be the first president to use the Sherman Antitrust Act, passed in 1890, to break up monopolies. Congress agreed to place government restrictions and regulations on railroads to combat rising shipping costs. Another important aspect of the Square Deal was conserving natural resources. Roosevelt knew that if people didn't take care of the environment, it would hurt everyone in the long run. He doubled the number of national parks, established the National Forest Service, gaining control of over 140 million acres of public lands to protect, and created 18 national monuments to protect America's beautiful landscapes for future generations to enjoy. The Square Deal showed that by working together and treating each other fairly, we can create a better future for all. It's a lesson that still resonates today and reminds us of the importance of fairness and equality in our society. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.